The University of Abuja and Global Initiative for Food Security and Ecosystem Preservation have called on all tiers of government and relevant stakeholders to intensify efforts to implement the Climate Change Act. Mr. David Michael, Executive Director of GIFSEP, a non-governmental organization, made the call at a consultative workshop on the Climate Change Act in Abuja. Michael urged government at all levels and other relevant stakeholders to collaborate to galvanize support for effective monitoring and implementation of the Act.
Executive Director of GIFSEP, the consultative forum is a discussion among CSOs working on environment and climate change in Nigeria. And today we are gathered to look at the Climate Change Act that was passed by President Muhammadu Buhari in November 2021. Where are we with the Climate Change Act at the moment? As CSOs, as individuals, or as citizens, climate change affects all of us, and if we have an act that is aimed at mitigating climate impacts in the country, the implementation of that act should begin. And as CSOs, we are also here to study the act, break it down, simplify it, and understand it further so that we can know how best to engage the government. But the message is quite simple. The climate is not waiting, so the implementation of the Climate Change Act should also not wait. Our fear is that if the government goes, as you know, 2023 presidential elections is just around the corner, and if the implementation does not begin, what happens when the next government comes? So the energy that this government, had with the signing of the Paris Agreement, attending all the COPs, the formation of our NDCs, and also the passage of the Climate Change Act, we should begin the implementation without delay.
Professor Hassan Shuaibu, Director, Center for Environmental Studies, University of Abuja, said that effective implementation of the Act will help solve environmental problems to a very large extent.
Implementing those laudable objectives will help solve environmental problems to a very large extent, that we will be reducing the high urban heat that is visiting us yearly now to a bearable minimum, because implementing that act will require every stakeholder to play individual role in solving this pending issue of global warming. The act will control you on how you take resources out of the environment and how you utilize, you can solve the problem of adding value to the environment, because many aspects of the environment is already degraded, you understand? The implementation of that act will help restore the environment into a very friendly, viable one. When biodiversity is affected, there is no way the climate aspect will be affected. And then if you observe now within our environment, especially in Nigeria, because that is what we are talking about, the deforestation, and very many youths now don't even know what they call forest. They only know the name or see it in books and in films, but they've not seen the live or real forest since they've been in existence. And up to so many years, they've been in existence. You understand? So the implementation of that act may force us to start planting micro forests within our own immediate vicinity, which will go a long way in reducing the problem within the environment.